already leaving. And he's fresh from first in the high jump, first in the long jump, and first in the triple jump. Unfortunately, Kelvinside Academy. And like his grandpa, he's got a bad back, not bad at all. I'm going to do a minute or so, and then I'm going to hand over to somebody probably don't think exists, but he does. But first of all, I'd just like to say, I've got a lump in my throat for reasons most of you know. Somebody's not here. It's probably sitting on my shoulder. The lump in my throat because of the turnout. Fantastic. We've come from Cambridge, from Aberdeen, via Bankery. Godfather's here, Norman from Dumfries. Never thought you'd turn up. Well done. Not only that, there are people as far away as Darvel. Most of you probably don't think that exists either, but they're here to prove it. And there are other places wide and far away, but the biggest travel for many reasons are the 15 or so who have come from the Happy Valley known as East Renfrewshire, officially the happiest place in Scotland. And so happy it's taken me 3 book launches to get them here. I'm talking about the Duignan. Let's hear it for the Duignan. Now, without any more ado at this stage, excuse me, from me, I'd now like to hand over to one Mungo Usher Ballantyne Laird, the hero of the 3 books. Mungo, you're on.
Thank you, Ian. Before I even say, ladies and gentlemen, my secret was safe with the events manager here, because in typical Mungo, I actually came here last night. Got another weekend. And that is absolutely true. And I left early because there was only 4 turned up. That's the truth. So, but I was at Sartre's again tonight before I came here, so you must excuse if I falter a bit. But anyway, ladies and, well, what do you say nowadays? You can't say, well, others? Are you allowed to say others? Because the PC police are everywhere, and as Mungo, I suffer from that. Because when I was a young blade or swordsman running around the west end of, well, it was Glasgow, not London, you were allowed to chase skirt, and you were allowed to refer to the young ladies as babes, dolls, chicks, hens, and well, it was even, you joined 2 together, it was baby dolls. I think that came up later in the evening. But anyway, and even we refer to them as lumbers. Now the younger ones here won't understand what a lumber is. But it used to be the next morning you said to your friend, "Did you get a lumber last night?" And that was the parlance we used at the time. But you really got to watch out now, because there could be anyone here in the audience reporting me, and there could be headlines in the, because you don't know what I'm going to say, there could be headlines in the Herald tomorrow. But I know what PC is, because you've all read the second book, and I'm fresh out the Slammer, El Plinko, but call it what you will. But I was actually in the Loch Lomond Castle Correction Unit for the PC Incontinent, But while I was in there, a lot of queer things happened. No, I don't mean. I don't mean queer roofed or poofed. No, sorry. I don't mean. I mean queer things happened. But I was fortunate enough to share a cell with a lovely man. He was black. He was called Bongo, and he came from the Congo. So I shared this cell for 13 weeks with Bongo from the Congo. As I say, he was a very nice man, but there's only one problem. Lights out, he was in the top bunk, and I was in the bottom bunk, and lights out, they called lights out, and all the lights had to go out. And there was this rhythmic beat from the top bunk, and it seemed to go on for about 5 or 7 minutes every night for 13 weeks. And it wasn't the national anthem of the Congo, but it sounded like just a beat, 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 beat. Now, he was black, he is black, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's now walking with a white stick. Now, I've spent 12 weeks of, it seems to be the young ones that are laughing at me. I've spent 12 weeks of hell for what? For what? And you can read what I've been doing since I got out in the latest book. It's the 3rd book in a trilogy. Well, yeah, you've spotted it. It must be the 3rd book. And it's the Lambshank Redemption. Now, Jesus, is that the price here?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. No way I'm paying that for this. This is all about me. Good God. No, I'll wait till it's in the hub, or the library, and I'll go down and get it there free. Well, it's not free actually, because I pay £3,000 a year on council tax for the hub. So Lambshank Redemption, great read. But at the same time, we must not forget Ethel, my wife. Not even allowed to say my wife nowadays. I've got to say wife to me. You can't say Bidey in. You can't say first wife. You can't say the bird I'm shacking up with. You can't say the girl with the great big arthritic hands. No, it's really getting difficult. And there I go again. I'm anything but politically incorrect, as you know from the first 2 books. So really, I've got to thank Ethel because she's chronicled in the book as well, all her adventures, and you cannot forget Ethel. She's a difficult lady to overlook. That's because of the size of her arse. I mean, I'm not saying it's big, but there was a competition between Serena Williams, Winnie Mandela, and Kim Kardashian. Is that right? She would win hands down. But she did come in handy because she used to stand next to me while I was watching television, and I could put my pint of bucket. That saved the cost of a coffee table. Saved me some dosh anyway. And it also saved my life because when I was in the slammer, of course, I couldn't get the old bucky. And but she saved my life by filling 2 big hot water bottles she attached them to a knicker elastic. And swayed and sashayed past the guards. And they didn't notice because the last thing you wanted to look at was her arse. Ian promised I couldn't be locked up because I'm a fictional character. Anyway, she saved my life, but unfortunately she's not here tonight, which gives me some quality time. And we're all out for a good night, and I spot the single divorced widow ladies in the audience, of course. I'm pleased to say you're all out for a good night as well. But there's hens and chicklets must do. But I'd like to especially thank Ian, who's jointly responsible for creating me, and as Ian likes to be called, he's a demigod. Demigod. He's a demigod. So thank you, Ian, and thank you for the opportunity. So just to finish, I would just like to give a toast. I know it's early in the evening for a toast, but it's a toast. They're all backy, of course, and I would like to toast. I would like to give a toast to guys and dolls and the Lambshank. The Lambshank Redemption was the most popular film ever made, so I'm sure the Lambshank Redemption will be. So here's the Lambshank. You bastard! How can I follow that? That was wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. It gets more like the pavilion every minute, so I might as well do this next bit. There are 2 birthdays at least that I know of. Yeah, so we've got a birthday present for 2 pretty important women. Sorry. Where is she? Yeah, she's up here. It's in my hairdresser. Look after my many wigs. Happy birthday, darling. This is meant to be a party, it's not a book launch. Well, I suppose it is a book launch as well. I'll come back to the book later. Just another tune there, yeah. We'll start with the books and we'll finish with the books, but I want to talk about John in the middle. Okay, Stanley. Artificial aid. First book, Skelp the Aged. Most of you were here before. This was roughly based on a play, and I'd like to announce for the first time in public that the Pavilion are having a look at it right now. We're turning it back into a play. So that was a play, and it was basically about the old couple, Mungo and Ethel, trying to flog their house and getting ripped off by various nefarious criminals known as estate agents and Australian people. This one, some of you and most of you know, was the second half was based on a excuse me, a sitcom that John and I wrote about a bookies. I'm trying to remember. Right. It's about a bookies, and the first bit is we let Mungo loose. That was the first half. So third one. The third one, we just let Mungo loose. And that was the result. No, it would be spoiler alert if I talk about the disagreement John and I had about what to do with the characters towards the end.
So you'll need to read the book to find out. I should say, there's one or two people in off the street, which are very welcome. I'm glad to see that guy that usually bums his way in here for a free drink and shoots off didn't make it. Mongo, which one was yours?
This one?
No, the white one.
Oh, the white one. Are you worried about something?
I know where you've been.
I know where I'm going.
Straight to hell. Where was it? She like prompt. No, I'm not looking for notes. No, that's just a front. What was I talking about there?
You were talking about the Lambshank, the hand sheep shank.
Right, well these are the three books. I'll come back to them later. That was Mungo Lewis. What I want to finish on, if you can remind me, Mungo and Sheila, that I want to talk about the covers because I want to finish about the books, on the books and the book drawing. But just quickly, I'll see if this works. I'll see if I can get through it. Here's Claire. Right. At the funeral, I learned a few things. The first thing I learned was that grief and Guinness don't mix. And I also learned not to do a part one and a part two. And I also learned if you're doing a part one and a part two, you lock the doors. If 3/4 of the audience get out. So there won't be any part one and part two, and I'll be as brief as I can here. I've done my grieving, I think. It's coming back as I'm talking about them. And in the obituary, in the Herald, helped by the wee man who probably hate me for mentioning him, Mr. Show Business from the Herald, and Evening Times, Brian Beacom, who did the obituary, and I cried when I wrote it. Almost as much as I cried when I made the mistake of thinking the Herald were going to charge me for writing it. Oh, and by the way, Brian, the BACS, the money came through 2 days ago, so that dinner I'm due you is now due. So what I thought I would do tonight is try and share just some of the bits of John that made me laugh. He was the best and the funniest guy and the cleverest. And what I'm going to do, and it's a slight direct towards Susie, my commissioning editor, my boss. I'm going to take you to Arran, where that novella that you're still sitting on the fence about, these escapades took place, and some of which are true. The two that are coming up are true. I tried to do this at the funeral, and oh, by the way, John Fowler, you mentioned, yeah, you've been very patient, audience, and no heckling, which is great. What I'm going to do is put my own heckle in here. I'm going to heckle myself. This might work. At the funeral, I started, part one was pretty good, we were all reasonably sober. Part two was a shambles, and I think the biggest drunk was me. I was telling the tale of when STV put up money to Radio Clyde to find new budding writing talent. Cut this short, John and I got invited and put in a team of 4 with a black man, Gun McMattu, who became a pal, and a female who had probably got a job with ITV these days, but she certainly wasn't funny. So there were 4 of us. Some of you get that reference. Bollocks, that is. Right. Oh, that was a right. Sorry, Sheila gives me a row every time I say right, so just shout. No, stop. Maybe. So what happened was STV were at it. It was a political device in order to get the awards at the National Awards for contribution to whatever body culture, etc. And they got it, but they didn't really put the resources into it. And you won't believe this, but they foisted a script editor on us called Wally. I'm not making it up, he was called Wally, and he lived up to his name every time we met him. John being John, and even I managed to see through the whole charade. And we decided to virtually throw the towel in and take the mickey. So they eventually came to us and said, right, we've got this half hour, what's the title going to be? So John and I came up with a title appropriate at the time. There was a hellish Disney film with a Volkswagen as the main character called Herbie. Right, so we suggested the title to Wally. Right over his head, we'd like the title Herpes the Movie. Now, at the funeral, I just uttered that and some guy came roaring back and said, I bet that went viral. That was a lot funnier than what I was going to tell him. Just to put closure on it, he came back and he said, somebody must have kicked his arse and explained, no, we can't do that. And so we went back and we said, well, we've got an alternative title. And he went, oh, right. He said, Herpes Goes to Monte Carlo. And he took it away again and he came back and he said, we'd like to make a suggestion. And we went, what is it? How about Hairpiece the Movie? And John looked at me and I looked at John and we went, Wally is well named. So we didn't really try too hard. That's the end of that story. Two tales from Aaron, very quickly. I tried to do this one at the funeral as well. This was part 2 and we were all steaming. And it didn't really work. There's a place in Aaron which is heaven called Blackwaterfoot, especially the golf course. And John and I just played there and loved it. And we were out, and John was see, I have to use some accents here, and I'm not taking this thing with me. Anyway, I'll try. We were alone going up the first. The course was empty. We must have been playing, probably twilight, it didn't matter. Probably about a third round that day. I'll try and explain this. Excuse me a minute while I have a drink of water. The background briefly is John was left-handed and very stubborn in certain aspects, and I always tried to get him to play right-handed, but he persisted. And he wasn't bad, he managed to about a handicap of about 14, but it's only the one thing that was better at him was golf. He was better at everything else than me, and always would be. And this is going to go into slow motion. It was his second shot. He must have had a decent drive, and it's quite a long hole, the first one. And it was an iron. Now, the non-golfers here is, well, I have to explain, the dreaded shot in golf is a shank. Now, what happens is, if I'm aiming that way, and you hit a shank, it goes that way, literally 90 degrees. Now, John didn't see this, and I'd been to Aaron before. I think I actually introduced him. I still introduced him to this golf course. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this, can only be described as a retinue. Now, I've actually got to give the punchline before I get to the end of this story to make sense. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a wee woman. No disrespect, Frankie, she was probably a relation of yours. She was about your size, and I'm allowed to say it, your shape, all dressed in black, walking about 6 miles an hour with about 3 guys and about 15 dogs. Boom, and I knew who it was, and John didn't know who it was. And the ball headed straight toward her as she was passing. Now this, I'm not making it up, was the Duchess of Montrose. And the ball is heading towards her, and I'm going, oh God, I'm in the Tower of London here. It's going to kill her. This is either a double mastectomy or bloody brain damage. You know if you have a car crash, I had one, and your life flies in front of you, and the ball's still moving, and John hadn't a clue what was going on. And I don't know what she did. She did a double whammy anyway. It missed the lower part and it missed her head by inches. And I said, what's going to happen now? We're dead because it's her land. She owns bloody Aaron, right? And this ball nearly killed her. And all she said was, she looked over to John and said, that's a clever one. And she marched on. And John said to me, who the hell's that? I said, it's the Duchess of Montrose. He said, well, she knows F all about bloody golf there. That one, I have to explain the background to this. This one creased me. This was the honours weekend. Now this is the creme de la creme. But remember, it's Paisley University. And the creme was a wee bit sour at times. It was the final year honours, and we stupidly took them to Arran, to the Kinloch Hotel, for their honours weekend. It was an excuse for a piss-up. And John and I pissed it right up. And the students were great. We got on great with the students. That's why we never got promoted, because we got on great with the students. And we decided, and it was in the days, well, in Arran it's still compulsory to drink and drive. Compulsory. But in those days it was double compulsory. You were at Arran, it was a long time ago. And John and I had enough of the students. So we took a car to Brodick. We had a few in Blackwaterfoot. I don't know really what happened after that. But we got home from Brodick, having visited the Armadale, the Douglas. That's all we were at that time. There was no Brodick bar. I think we drank them dry. And then drove back. Now the only reason I know John drove is I woke up in the back of the car at 4 in the morning, probably still playing the guitar. But I had the guitar in my hands and John had buggered off. So it was the next morning. Now, I have to digress a wee bit. This is the honour students, the creme de la creme, and some of them were real great kids, they were great, but there's always one. And John and I wrote a sitcom about it that got pretty close to being put on a long time ago by Tony Hancock's producer, Duncan Wood. He loved it. And there was a student in it, and we, for reasons that are pretty obvious, we called the student Dooley. Right? Dooley. Now Dooley was reasonably clever in an academic sense, but stupid as buggery in a streetwise sense or any other sense. And there was a Dooley in this group. Okay, so now I can do the story. So the students knew we'd been on the batter. I think even they'd gone to bed by the time we got back. But we made breakfast in the morning. And now, there was a story at the time, a shaggy dog story. It's actually a shaggy monkey story about a monkey that could drive. Right? It's a apocryphal story about a monkey that could drive. So that was current au courant at the time. So the students eventually kind of quizzed us because they knew us well enough to they never called us sir, thank goodness. They just called us Ian and John. Now, you guys must have been pretty pissed last night. Yeah, so we're lecturers, we're supposed to get pissed. Who drove the car back from Brodick? And John said, the monkey. Part one. And the brighter ones laughed like you did. Thank you for laughing. But Dooley said, where's the monkey now? And John like that said, Calder Park Zoo, bloody awful driver, went off the road 3 times on the way home. Where's Frankie? Frankie's going to give me I'm happy to stop reasonably soon. How's the time, kid? Running over. I'm on till it's dark. And that's why we chose Midsummer Night's Day, because it's the longest day. One more. I had 2 tall tales ready. No, they're not so tall, they're true. This is for my library group. A special thanks to them, 6 of them here. Bishopbriggs Library is terrific. One of the reading groups is not terrific, and that's who I want to talk about. I'll need a stiff drink. I'll need a stiff drink before this one. Two stiff drinks.
A hot water bottle's there.
Oh, by the way, I should really thank this man. This is Campbell Cooper. It's not really Mungo. You probably will think of him as Mungo. He's just a good friend. Brilliant. Right, you're probably not going to think this is true, but right, back a bit. John Updike is one of my favourite authors, amongst a whole lot. And he wrote a book, and there was a film made of The Witches of Eastwick. I am now going to introduce you to the Witches of East Dunbartonshire. Now I asked for this, be careful what you wish for. I asked for this because they were the first group. You guys okay?
Yes. Can I go to the drama?
Of course you can, Molly.
I did that at a Shawshank.
Is that rhyming slang?
I did.
Jai Arthur.
Oh, that's steady. Go on, Ray.
I know. Is that huge thing?
I'm going to have come with you.
And your designated carer.
It's either that or I'll borrow your hot water bottle.
Right, semi-serious for a moment. So I asked for this group because they were party to us, John and I, making changes in the second book. And they were right in a lot of ways. There was too much in parentheses, which is a fancy word for brackets. So we changed it, and it was mainly John, because he did all the research. I'm too lazy. And he turned it into footnotes. So I thought, we're on a winner here. Skelt was pretty popular, despite what they said, blah, blah, blah. So we get this group, the Witches of East Dunbartonshire. Now, I was on a cleft stick because the lead witch, officially, is a friend. And she got me a gig that paid 7 times as much as that advance that you gave us for the first book, where I opened a McCarthy Stone home in Bishopbriggs, which is true. Plaque's still up there. I go in twice a day to polish it. Owned by me, right. So, she'll remain nameless, but she's still a good friend despite what happened. She's sitting there, and Caligula's big sister is sitting right next to her. I don't know what to call her. I was going to call her Mrs. Thatcher, but Mungo's here, and Thatcher was he's a big fan of Thatcher. Probably the only one in Glasgow, but never mind. So I thought it'd be cute, and instead of doing this, roughly what I'm doing just now, I thought we'll just go question and answer. So I opened up right away. Caligula, we'll call her that. I don't know what I like to call her. She said, I don't, no question, statement. I don't know how your publishers allowed you to, I don't know how they published that. It's completely non-PC. Now, what I'm going to do is give you my thoughts, because I actually didn't say very much because I was on a cleft stick. Now, it's not like me. If you go for a book back normally. And I'm thinking, but it's satire, and PC is needing a kick up the arse. As you did beautifully. I'm talking to you now, they don't exist anymore. I'm talking to Mongo. I'm going, hi John, I'm going insane here. I'm talking to somebody I'm half invented. Anyway, so I let that one pass, and then she said, I've been all over Glasgow, and these characters don't exist, and she said it in that tone of voice, really, really nasty. Now, I've figured out what she was. She's a misologist. I'll come to that one in a minute, but she's definitely a misandrist, and that is a female misogynist. She a man hater, and I was getting it, and there were 12 of them. It was a coven. and she's I've been all over Glasgow, and these characters don't exist. So in my mind, I'm flipping to the front. This is a work of fiction, blah, 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 right? So I let that one pass. And then she says, someone else, I can't remember, and I said, well, you would not have recognised me, I was Mr. Mild. And I said, well, we've just come from Strathclyde and we had a great time and you loved the book. I said, you only go there to talk to your friends. And I said, well, there's a couple of testimonials, including Gordon's, Jane and Graham Hislop, and they absolutely loved the book. Oh, he just made that up, that's a lot of lies, you writers do. And then I just let her go, and she condemned herself. She said, anyway, I can't read Glaswegian. She's been all over Glasgow and she can't read Glaswegian. Wow, this is an IQ and a half. And then, what was the next bit? Oh, the trouble is, she set the tone, and I should have stood on her firmly, because she had set the tone. And then it was this one. And of course, they're all picking up. I mean, I'm the meat and the sandwich. I'm the meat and the sandwich here. And then our one starts. Well, when I get a book, I like to learn something. And I'm going in my mind, there's 83 effing footnotes in this, all carefully researched, Wikipedia, the whole bit. And I'm going, in my mind, I didn't say it, but I'm saying, that is some talent, to be able to read with your eyes shut and your mind closed. And that was basically it. But it came down to, I figured out eventually what it was. Her job in life, it was a group of retired primary school teachers. You get a good teacher, you get a good I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox now, you get a good one, they're a friend for life. You get one of them, narrow-minded, bigoted. A misologist is somebody that will not listen to reason and just despises reason, and that's what I was faced with this one, 2 up. Absolutely dreadful. My job is to get them to say jacket instead of jacket. And she went on to say, otherwise, how are they going to get an interview? And I said, oh, they must be really delighted getting the night shift stacking shelves at fucking Lidl. What's going on? I've got another one of swearing. Frankie, you want me off yet? Right, okay. You need to come to the next lunch to get the real gidgeon. Right, I'm going to finish. I've still got a lump in my throat because he's not here. I just wanted to finish on the covers. Oh, buy one, get one half price. Honestly, what? Okay. Just a cover, because I want to remember John, and I'm also going to drop a wee bombshell. You might like this last bit. That cover was a joint effort between John and I. He kind of had the James Bond idea, and I insisted on the road sign of the old couple crossing the road. So that was 50-50, roughly. The second one, we wanted Mungo and Ethel to look like Bonnie and Clyde, but it didn't work. The graphics team are great. You're a great bunch of publishers. The ranches are shit. The money's shit, but your graphics and all the rest, you've been great. And by the way, it used to be $250 in expenses for the booth here. It's $350 tonight. So there must be some left. Anyway, oh, seagulls are laughing. Right. Away with the birds. Right. I keep saying it, don't I? You missed it. 2 rights in a row there? Actually, 6 rights in running team. The figures didn't work, so it was left with a shotgun. And again, I would say, yeah, 50-50. Probably, yeah. Now, John was talented in many, many ways. This is the 3rd book. And some of you, the more discerning alcoholics among you, will recognise what this is portraying. John's very thrown and laughing. This is all John's work. The graphics didn't change it. They replicated 100% what John said, and he was really struggling. And I'm going to do a side bit, and then I'll tell you the punchline. You guys were great. Sorry, the publishers were great. They really rushed it through. See what you can do when you're in a hurry, because they knew John was ill, and despite increasing infirmity, we did it. He did it. And I was reasonably okay, but John did it. But sad thing is, 3 days before the book came out, John passed away. So that's the lump. I'll get it out of my throat now. But the buggers left us a legacy. What you have here is a mirror image of. Now, with a bit of luck, there's a shout of suing litigious buggers, the monks at Buckfast Abbey. So we're going to get the publicity we've been looking for. Whoopee, I'm finished. I'm going to send it. I like time for 3 questions, which you cut me short. Okay, first question comes from Neil Clark. What's that, Neil? Great. What else are you doing? There's a play at Cumbernauld Theatre right now, Neil Clark and I have written, called Good Times, set in 1968. Frank Muir said, what else have you done? Well, what Frank and I have done is produce this, which is just in time for Christmas, but from tomorrow, tomorrow the next is drawing in. It's called Shit Yourself Laughing. It's 20 of the best jokes about shit that were ever written. And, because I don't know where Anne Campbell is, and the 10 cartoons are just tremendous. And they were written by a dearly departed pal, Russell Campbell. So that's something else. No, what else? Oh, yes, and Brian Beacom was saying, and what are you doing next, Ian? Well, Frank Muir, Brian Beacom and myself were having a, what's called Scottish Inquisition. It'll be a tour of places near and far, where Brian grills the arse off Frank and I about writing and other things. And that, I think we're probably going to be starting in Fife. Thank you, Heather. Is that true? Yeah, we're going to start in Fife and work all the way back to Kirkintilloch in November and some other places like Glasgow. So that's the commercials over. And hi, that's it. Thanks very much for coming.
Can I just grab your attention quickly before you all run away? There will be a signing. We have got books on the sort of back high table there, and the bar till is where you pay for them before you leave, please, because the shop's shut, so I can't be in different floors at once. So try and stay on this floor if you can, please. Otherwise you'll end up being locked in. Secondly, the bar is open. Last orders will be at 8:20 because we finish at 8:30. And I'm a horrible, horrible person to cross after hours, as you have probably already gathered. No, the staff are only paid to a certain time, and to be fair to them, it's how we have to do it. But you're going to have a good party now. I'm going to tell them.
If people are sensible enough to buy all three, they get the third one half price.
No, if they buy the first two, they get one of them half price. That one's full price. That's the new one. It's full price. No negotiation on that.
Okay.
Not even with the author. So yeah, the books are available at the back. Ian will be signing just by the red wine, basically. Thank you all so much for coming out this evening. I think it's been a cracking night and a really lovely way to remember people that we miss.
Hello. 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 Frankie, don't go away. I was actually going to thank you. Where's you go? I'd just like to say thanks very much to Waterstones because 3.5 years ago, two old jakies walked in off the street, John and I, looking like a couple of tramps, and I was in our Sunday gear. And a lovely guy, I don't know if Andrew's here or not, Andrew Drennan invited us in and set up the first launch, and Waterstones have just been great ever since. And even built a bar for John and I. The first launch, she had to bring 38 bottles of wine in herself. I'm definitely finishing now, so anybody that wants to buy a book and wants it signed, apparently I'm round the corner somewhere near the red wine. Willie, it's safe to come back.